Out of all the DMs I get, out of all the strange memes and messages about Turbo Busas or Daytonas or any of the general Yammie mythos we've created around here, the thing I get the most on a near daily basis is this. Can a 300cc bike keep up in the real world? Well, my squidlets, it's about to get as real as it gets, because today we are going to be discussing if a tiny, minuscule, pathetically small 300cc motorcycle could ever hope to keep up in the real world, even though Eurobros are currently laughing at us with their 125s, which we will address as well. If you've been watching the channel for a little while, you know that we've been going back in time and making sure that our old videos are up to snuff for our current year. And this is another video I made years and years ago, which has well over 1 million views now, that I felt I needed to go back and go over in more detail. In that original video, I discussed how the Yamaha R3 I owned performed in a group ride setting when compared to a 600 and 1000cc bike. It was a very loose vlog, and it was made in an afternoon, and it was not thought out, so we're going to be doing this topic justice today. Before we jump in though, make sure you check out our new merch line. We've got Turbo Busa or Die hoodies, t-shirts, and hats. We've also got the classic Make Busas Great Again hats, which I will definitely be rocking, and we've got the new, sick Yammie Noob logos on nearly anything you'd want. Hit the link below in the description and get started and check out our merch today. Alright, so the first reason we're going to be looking at why 300cc bikes can't actually keep up in the real world is performance. Let me drop some figures on you. Today's motorcycle is going to be a Yamaha R3 because I owned one and I am partial to that little bike. It comes equipped with a 321cc parallel twin engine, making about 42 horsepower. Take a guess of its 0 to 60 time. If you're unfamiliar with bikes, 42 horsepower might seem like a lowly figure, so maybe 7 seconds, maybe 6.5 on a good day. Optimal conditions and all of that. Nope, a Yamaha R3 will accelerate to 60 miles per hour from a dead stop in 5 seconds flat. And the best part, in my opinion, is you get to bang 3 gears to get there. It will also complete the quarter mile in about 14.1 seconds. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with their 0 to 60 or quarter mile times, but that is a quick little vehicle. You'll be beating any automatic crap boxes you encounter on the road. You'll be able to quickly out-accelerate most performance cars as well from a dead stop like a GTI or something, so we're off to a good start here. But what about top speeds? Well, let me first say that top speeds are pretty irrelevant in the real world, where you'll never do more than 85 or 90 miles per hour on a highway unless you're really irresponsible, but the R3 can easily do about 115 miles per hour, with some riders achieving about 120 miles per hour if they're light enough. So, faced with these performance statistics, why are newbies so concerned about a 300cc bike keeping up? You have plenty of power to learn with, to accelerate in traffic with, and to safely maneuver in the world with. So why does the myth persist that these bikes aren't enough, or that they are only for beginners? Let's continue on. The second point I'd like to discuss is real-world applications, which ties back to the top speed point I was making. When you're starting out on these bikes, you have no concept of what makes a bike truly great yet, which is why manufacturers put right-side-up forks on them, budget components, and more pedestrian equipment on them, because a newbie rider just isn't going to be able to tell that their R3 has a bit of soft suspension setup over purpose-built race bikes. Over time, you might start noticing that things you'd like to change or fix on your ride, but for the first 5,000 miles or so, you're not really going to understand why you'd want to make certain modifications yet. Things like aftermarket rear sets or lower clip-ons or even comfort seats. In reality, you're going to utilize the bike to go to work, to go to school, maybe ride a canyon or two on the weekend, take it out for a night with your friends, or just have fun with it. You don't actually need a bike with 120 horsepower and Öhlins to learn on and have a good time, contrary to popular belief. I think newbie riders really need to be more honest with themselves about what they will be using their bikes for, because these little bikes are more than capable of doing just about everything you need them to. Again, going back to what we said in the first point about performance, a machine that can do 0 to 60 in 5 seconds flat and complete a quarter mile in 14 seconds was seen as a rocket ship a generation ago, so you're going to be perfectly fine. Hell, car guys regularly flex about those kinds of stats, so a $5,000 motorcycle that you picked up to have some fun with is going to destroy those things. The third point I'd like to make today's video is about highway speeds, which is something that American riders get really worked up about, and rightfully so. In most American major cities, you have to jump on a highway or a freeway to get just about anywhere. So what is it actually like to take one of these smaller bikes on the highway? Well, as boring as it sounds, it's pretty mild. You swiftly accelerate to highway cruising speeds. It's just like any other vehicle. If you want to pass someone, you click down a gear and you indicate one lane to the left and you cruise by them. Unless you're on some godforsaken Ninja 250 from the 90s or something, most small displacement modern sport bikes are plenty capable to execute passing maneuvers on highways. In fact, the KTM RC390 we're working on for our giveaway series, given that it's a torquey single-cylinder motorcycle, passes people on the streets with ease, and even low down in revs. So that's another consideration you should think about too when you're looking at these class of bikes. Is it a 2-cylinder or a 1-cylinder bike? The other thing I see more often than not from beginner riders looking to get started is that they're concerned with their size relative to these smaller bikes. And it's tough to say that the R3 or the KTM RC390 are normal-sized bikes because that really is all relative. Now I will say this though. For my body, and I'm about 6 feet tall and 175 pounds, I've never had any issue fitting ergonomically on any of them. When I say that, I mean the position of the bars, the foot pegs, and the seat height. Now, here's where things get complicated. I'll have guys who are 6'4" and weighing 250 pounds asking me if they're going to be okay on these bikes, and the reality is, you will be. These bikes are designed to have pillion riders, so 2-up situations on them, and have a max load capacity of about 375 pounds if I'm not mistaken, meaning you can ride with 2 full-size adults on it, so you're going to be fine with that weight. As far as the ergonomics go, the best advice I can give to you is to go by a dealership and just sit on the bike. Any dealership's going to allow you to go in, sit on the bike, and get a feel for it. If you feel cramped on it, then check out some other offerings, but the engine size and power is not going to be the limiting factor for you here. The next point I'd like to make is about group rides. I think what happens with this category of bike is that people are afraid of what other riders will say about them owning a quote-unquote small bike. But my dudes, let me tell you this. Anyone who makes fun of you or bullies you about the size of your engine who isn't a close friend of yours is an insecure piece of shit and probably can't ride their big bike very well anyways. I can guarantee you that the dude who's on a GSX-R 1000, who's making fun of you or your Ninja 300 online, is the same dude who's crossed up in corners, has never been on track, and squids regularly, so I really wouldn't worry about it too much. In reality, most seasoned riders will see a small displacement bike and get excited because that means it's someone who has likely started riding, or it's some kind of track day junkie type of guy who can outride the absolute pants on that thing. I'll give you an anecdote. About 2 years ago when I attended a track day at Motorsport Ranch in Crescent, MSRC for short, I thought it was big and bad. I loved riding quickly on the street. I had a Daytona 675R. I'd done a few track days and I want to show everyone that I could get it. On my second session out there, some 12-year-old kid on a KTM Duke 390 passed me on the outside while Nate Kern was doing a coaching session with him. I will never forget being humbled that hard by a much smaller bike and a literal child. So the point I'm making is this. It's all about the rider. A 12-year-old on a Duke 390 can outride some dude on a GSX-R 1000 who's just trying to impress the ladies on a Saturday night. The last thing I'll say is this. We tend to get bogged down by this idea of a beginner bike here in America, that tiny 300cc bike that everyone will make fun of us for. But our Eurobro squid brethren are laughing at us as they are forced at age 17 to straddle a 125cc bike until they can get their A2 license and have the chance to cruise around on a larger displacement motorcycle. If they can make those 125cc's work in their cities, then by God, we can make our 300cc bikes work here, my guys. It also dawns on me that for some reason this comparison between big bikes and little bikes only happens in motorcycling. No one is driving around in some 120 horsepower 4-cylinder car and asks the internet, am I going to be able to keep up in traffic? Shouldn't I have a Mustang with 400 horsepower so that I can keep up and merge on the highway? It's the same thing. A 300cc bike is like a Miata, and a super sport motorcycle is like a Ferrari. Now, that's going to wrap it up for today's video on whether or not a 300cc bike can keep up in traffic. I'm super appreciative of everyone who watches these videos, and I'm glad we've gotten the opportunity to make some new content that updates the old stuff we've got so the people will know we're trying to spread the good word of our Lord and Savior Rossi. Now, what do you guys think about these smaller bikes? Let me know in the comments below. And you guys already know this video wouldn't be complete without me mentioning our Patreon. It started out as our beginner bike giveaway, and we still do that. We've got the KTM RC390 up for grabs, but really it's grown into the best community for motorcyclists on the internet. Imagine a safe place where you can come learn about bikes, ask questions, see exclusive content, and hang out with me. That's what our Discord server is. It's a chat room you can access on desktop or mobile, and it's going to work just like Slack or TeamSpeak. Join over 565 members who have signed up. We've got channels specifically for new riders, bike purchases, memes, and more. Oh yeah, you get additional chances to win the bike and you're automatically entered for free. You'll get access to live streams, polls to help us decide what to do on the bikes, and more. We also do weekly $100 gift card drawings for our members. Watch our weekly It Came From Craigslist videos to see how that works. So join us in creating the best exclusive motorcycle community on the internet. Hit the link below or go to patreon.com/YammieNoob to get started. Thanks again for watching. I'll catch you guys next time. See you later. Fact: Oxford University is older than the Aztec Empire. True story. Goodbye.